Today with Sean O'Rourke on RTE Radio 1.
The face-covering veil, or niqab, which is worn by some Muslim women, has often proven to be controversial. This week, the whole debate about the wearing of the veil was reopened, with Jeremy Browne, a British government minister, suggesting it could be banned from schools and public places, and a trial judge in Britain has told a woman appearing in a court there that she will have to remove her veil when giving evidence. Joining me now, Yafa Shanneik, who is a research fellow at the Study of Religions Department in Cork at UCC, and also in studio here, Michael Nugent, Chairperson of Atheists Ireland. Good morning to you both. To you, Yafa, first of all, in our Cork studio. Your research, I understand, has focused on gender and Islam. Can you explain to us, first of all, the significance of the niqab for some Muslim women?
Yes, good morning. It is. We need to distinguish between the different covers. As you mentioned, the veil covers the hair, the head, and the niqab covers the face. And there are different understandings of the obligatory of this face cover, and it's some would believe that it is necessary, but as far as the majority are concerned, I suppose, according to Islamic law, it is not obligatory to wear the face cover. But still, there are some people who believe, a woman should cover it, and but again, it is a very tiny minority who do cover their faces.
Is there any reference in the Quran or other expressions of Islamic law to women having or needing to have their faces covered?
Again, here the Quran is a text as any other text that is open for different interpretations. And there are different understandings in that particular issue where some people would see a reference in the Quran saying, it should be covered. Others would say, no, it's not, it wasn't meant to be that, and so on. So, directly, there isn't any reference in the Quran saying that a woman should cover her face, but Muslims believe in the Quran and the Sunnah as well, the sayings of the Prophet, and there you would probably see some references. But again, these are very controversial.
Well, what do you make then of the Yafa, of the call for a debate by the Lib Dem Minister Jeremy Browne across the water?
Well, the recent publications, recent studies really shown that, as more you make this issue public, the more Muslim women, particularly young, would decide wearing the hijab and the niqab out of solidarity. So the more we talk about it, the more we actually motivate Muslim women, particularly younger ones, to wear it. And I think it is very problematic when a government or a society dictates what women should wear, because that is really restricting their freedom of choice and their freedom of religion or religious expression.
Michael Nugent, Chairperson of Atheist Ireland, this is really an argument or a debate in which you don't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. Or why would you take a view that this is something that maybe women feel that I understand your argument to be that they're effectively harassed into wearing these face covers?
Well, certainly some of them are. And the situation from an Atheist Ireland perspective is that the state should be secular, and that we should base our laws on protecting everybody equally, regardless of their religious beliefs or their religious affiliations. And that involves two things. It involves protecting individual freedoms, but it also involves protecting vulnerable people from being exploited. And if you had any organisation that was not a religion, whose founding documents treated women unequally, said that a husband can beat his wife in certain circumstances, said that a woman's evidence is worth half that of a man's, said that a woman can inherit half that of a man, said that if you left that organisation it is apostasy and you face either death or life imprisonment. If you had any organisation like that that was also saying to women, you have to wear this veil, then we would see that as exploitation, and we would deal with it in a secular manner. And I don't think that an organisation, simply because it calls itself a religion, should get a free pass from that
If
sort
I
of
may
behaviour.
if I may just comment on that issue, I think we should go, a little bit go away from representing Muslim women as victims, as people who are suppressed from men, from religion, from society. I mean, this is why, for example, we should have a bottom-up approach in dealing with this issue, talking with these women. A lot of academic scholars, for example, do ethnographic research by going to these women and talk to them and giving them a voice to express their own experiences. And in most cases, as my own research has shown as well, is that in most cases these women are very autonomous human beings. They have agency. They are aware of their rights within Islam,
So
and
you're
they are
saying-
aware of their rights within their lives here in Europe as well.
So you're saying there's no duress?
Well, what I am saying is that we shouldn't generalize. What Michael cited, all these issues that he mentioned. I mean, these are generalizations, and I think that religion, and particularly also religious communities and groups, they are complex. A lot of factors actually play a role, social factors, religious factors, and so on. And therefore, we should probably be very cautious of these generalizations
And tolerant, Michael Nugent?
Yeah, look, we make rules as a society about how we behave, and some of those rules are about dress. For example, as a society, we say you can't walk around naked, to use the other extreme. Maybe we should allow people to walk around naked, but we don't. Now, if there was an organisation that wanted to walk around naked and said that it was on the basis that it was a religion, we wouldn't allow it. So just as the basic principle, we should make our decisions on a secular basis, based on the needs of society. And an organisation should not, simply on the basis that it's a religion, get an exemption from whatever norms we have. Now, there are certainly, if Islamic women want to wear the veil, I have absolutely no problem at all with that. But we have to distinguish between those that freely choose to do so and those who are coerced to do so. And it is quite complex. What is there actually a free choice in a situation where you're brought up before you reach the age of reason, being told this is the role of woman within society?
But how could the state interpose itself in that kind of a situation, involving itself in family business effectively?
Well, what we should do is we should set just basic rules in terms of, if you take the covering of faces, which is essentially what it's about, you could say, for example, in outside of families, obviously you can't deal with inside of families other than in the way you try to deal with domestic violence. I mean, ideally what you would do is you would criminalise men who force women to wear veils and not criminalise women who wear veils. Now, I don't know how practical that would be, but we can certainly make rules in terms of how we run society. You can't cover your face in court. You can't cover your face for security reasons. We should set those rules as rules and then apply them equally regardless of religious affiliation.
If I may just comment on that, your sentence, we should set basic rules. Again, here I have a problem in that, concerning the we, because, I mean, by setting rules that are, very, very much Eurocentric, we are actually, aren't we in a sort of reinforcing another form of patriarchy or even of colonialism when a white man is telling a Muslim woman how to cover her body? I mean, this is really problematic here, that we are actually again, dictating and reinforcing another form of patriarchy. This is how I would see it.
But Shanneik, on that, Yafa, I beg your pardon, what about the argument, and Michael has touched on it there, that some of the women who wear the veil are doing so because they're forced to do so by their husbands?
Well, obviously, Michael, you're definitely right. We need to, distinguish between who are forced and who are not forced. But I'm just wondering if it would be really a solution by having elite male politicians to decide what is right or wrong for women to do or not to do. You see, so this is where I am coming from. That I would argue argue that, we should actually listen to the women and see what how their experiences has been. And studies have shown that, Muslim women feel marginalized through these debates. And by banning them from particular buildings, or, you're cutting them off from the public, causing their isolation from public life. And this is also, we don't want this, do we?
Well, I would suggest then that you ask women like Mariam Namazi, who runs the Council of Ex-Muslims in Britain, and all of the women who are involved in that organisation who have left Islam specifically because of the exploitation of women by Islamic men.
Well, you're right. These cases are there, of course, as there are also the same, cases in different organizations, in different religions, in different societies. They are all there. And this is also my point, that we shouldn't really, put Muslim women as something, exceptional, as something, exotic. They are women as any other women are in our society. Here, they're facing the same challenges. They're facing the same problems, not more or not less.
Yafa, what about the point there where the judge, a trial judge in the UK, told a woman appearing in his court that she will have to remove her veil when giving evidence?
Well, to be honest here, I mean, I would agree with Michael and the others by saying, from security perspective, under particular circumstances, a niqab should be taken off. But this exists also in societies like in Saudi Arabia as well. For example, the niqab is being taken off when taking passport photos for passports. So if you look at passports from Saudi Arabia, issued from Saudi Arabia for women, there are no niqabs there because they need to be equivalent to the international regulations here. And there, even the Saudi government wouldn't have any problems in saying, in putting the niqab off. So for security reasons and for particular other reasons, I suppose, it is even there, very clear that opinions in Islamic law would have, space in really accommodating, particular circumstances. And you can see from there that, Islamic law is shifting from normative religious practices, adopting to modern changes as well.
Yeah, there's still certain circumstances, though, in which it is unquestionable that women are being forced to wear garments that they don't want to wear. I mean, there's the situation just this week in English schools, in Islamic schools, where there are supposedly uniform policies which force children to wear the burqa or the niqab when they're going to and from school. And the application form for some of those schools says the girls will be appropriately punished if they don't wear those. There was that Channel 4 documentary a couple of years ago on dispatches on undercover mosque where Islamic organisations that were on the face of it supposed to be moderate were filmed privately saying things like that if women don't wear the hijab that we'll hit them. So I mean it's important to start by saying we protect people who are vulnerable. And in doing so, we also try to maximise the individual freedoms of everybody at the same time.
No, definitely. I really agree with you. And these cases are there. Definitely. No doubt at all. As they are also in other organizations and religions and societies as well. As I said, these are women as any other women as well, facing the same, challenges within societies. But also I think at the same time, it is also important that, we as a government, as a society, that we protect the rights of minority groups as well, even if they are different or even if they look different.
Okay.
So people who do not fit into the mainstream should not be casted out. Like, for example, if we take Ireland, for example, it is a Catholic country where from the census, the majority do see themselves as Catholic. So do we want, the people who are not Catholic or have a particular sexual orientation or who are atheists, for example, to be casted out?
Very brief response
just
there,
because
Michael.
they are mainstream, they are outside of mainstream society.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is that we should protect freedom of religion, but Islamic veiling does not protect freedom of religion. It protects coercion by religion.
We leave it there. Michael Nugent, Chairperson of Atheist Ireland, and also Yafa Shanneik, who is a research fellow at the Study of Religions Department at UCC. Thank you both.
Today with Sean O'Rourke on RTE Radio 1.